Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England. This evening, the World 8-Ball Pool Federation Men's Individual Championship Final for 2017, the final event of these championships. Before I introduce the match, I just need to cover a few housekeeping rules. The first one, in case of fire, the fire escapes are behind me to my right, behind me to my left, and in front of me to my left. Please, no drinks on the arena anywhere. Mobile phones need to be either switched off or in silent mode. And please, no cameras and no videos during play. And now, for the officials. My pleasure to introduce the referee for this match. Please, let's hear it for George Bradbury of England. Keeping time will be Sasha Gauci of Malta, and please, for the head adjudicator, John Pope, warm round of applause. Our first opponent for this contest. He's from Sutton, Cambridge in England. He was the world champion in 2009. He is the number 5 seed for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Harrison. His opponent needs a little introduction. He's from Dudley in England. He was the world champion at this event in 2004, in 2010, in 2015. He's the number 4 seed for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, Mick Hill! Referee, please take control. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, wish these two players the very best of luck in the final for 2017.
Good evening and welcome to Blackpool for the final of the men's singles tournament in the World 8-Ball Championships 2017. Had 10 days of great pool to get to this point, but this is the match that everyone's been talking about ever since the semi-final stages were established. Mick Hill and Tom Cousins yesterday, Phil Harrison and Dave Fernandez, both mouth-watering prospects. It's Hill and Harrison, both still quite young, but real veterans of the game. They've both been around a long time. Hill won his first world title in 2004. Harrison won his currently only world title in 2009, but has been a fixture both before and after that in the latter stages of this tournament. So we should be in for a great final. Commentary from the final from me, Mark Shepherd, and joining me, Peter Butterworth. Welcome, sir. Good to have you with me.
Thank you, Mark. Good to be here.
And this should be a great final.
Yes, looking forward to this one, mate. Two guys that, as you said, continually produce in the big stages of tournaments. Both won everything several times.
Sometimes when you start a match like this, you're not sure what you're going to get. We've had, on the stream stages the last few days, we've had a lot of very high quality pool, then a few scrappy ones, not too many, but enough to keep it interesting. But this one, you just know isn't going to turn into a scrappy frame. I mean, it's always a bad mistake to make predictions about these things, but these two are just such high-quality players. You just can't imagine, beyond the odd tactical frame, which will understandably be required, this not turning into a massive feast of clearances.
Well, we've just had first mistake from Mick. Trying to open that ball up. Didn't quite work out for him.
I think coming into this match, a lot of people are talking about Hill being quite a strong favourite, I think, but I think that That does Harrison a bit of a disservice. Everyone knows what a good player he is. I think it's more even than that. I think Hill's big advantage is the fact this is being played on a bigger table. I think on a 7-foot table, this would really be a very even matchup. I think on a bigger table, Hill's perhaps the one with a slightly greater firepower, although there's not a lot in it.
Look, Phil's a legend of the game, but it's, for me, hard to go against Mick. I almost got convinced by, well, the majority of people just going on Tom Cousins' form of late, winning the first 3 events on the calendar, and everyone was sure he was going to get over the top of Mick and win this big favourite for this event, but Mick got him again, so hard to bet against him.
Yeah, a very different type of match, this, I think, from the one yesterday. Everyone was expecting the Mick Hill-Tom Cousins semi to be a real potting feast, and largely it was. Harrison, actually a much better potter than perhaps he gets credit for. I mean, he gets a lot of credit anyway, but kind of keeps things simpler, so maybe it looks a bit less spectacular, but in terms of results, always granite hard to beat.
Yeah, he won't take him on unless he's going to get him generally. Not a huge risk taker. Good opportunity here.
Yeah, it is. Mick having slipped out of position, this presentable opportunity falls to Harrison. Less important in this match than in some to get the first frame on the board, just because these guys have been out here and done it so many times. I don't think they'll have quite the same pressure, but there's always a pressure. This is the World Championship final, so getting the first frame is still an important milestone.
Yeah, it is, but as you said, by the same token, it's not these two aren't going to get rattled if they lose the first couple of frames.
No, I think a couple of frames either way is going to be less significant in this match than in a lot. These are both such good players that they can easily sequence several together. So
that's a great shot.
Yeah, that's a perfect positional shot. Now just needs to draw the cue ball back towards this end of the table for the one remaining yellow. Another example actually of how the bigger table makes a slight difference. Phil's not the tallest of lads, a bit harder to reach. I mean, this is you're not very often in this kind of position in a normal pool table.
Grabbing a rest.
Yeah, and I think for the type of shot, it's a very easy shot to play with a rest, so I don't see much downside. Like some shots, it might impede you having to use a rest. I think here, definitely the sensible option. No point being in an uncomfortable position over the side of the table.
And that'll do fine.
And Mick will be aware that this is exactly the equation he'll face. If he goes for anything and misses it, Phil will be there like a shot ready to clear up.
So, pretty straightforward black and good opening frame from Phil.
It's solid and consistent as always, does the job. Two good quality semi-finals yesterday. Slight difference in style, as I say. The Cousins Hill one was the one that was the most touted of the two. I think a lot of people thought that that would have been a fitting final, and it was the final 2 years ago. The other one was a high quality encounter as well, though. Phil Harrison prevailing over Dave Fernandez in the first of the two semi-finals.
So I think it might have been the semi 2 years ago as well, Mark.
Certainly played each other on a number of occasions in this great arena. Hill's got 3 world titles to his name, 2004, 2010 and 2015. Phil Harrison just the one in 2009, but there was a period in the mid-2000s when he seemed to be in the quarters or semis pretty much every year. He just turned on your television expecting to see him there. So he's had an enormous amount of practice out here.
2004, he's a 37-year-old veteran of the game.
Yes, I mean, that doesn't really sound that old, does it? But compared with some of the young guns coming through.
Doesn't sound that old when he's 4 years younger than me, no. Great break.
Yeah, really solid break. Not hitting it as hard as some people, but what a consistent result that is.
It's good timing.
So this is Phil's first opportunity to do it from his own break. He stepped in when Mick broke down in the last frame. This is the way to really punish your opponent. If they miss a ball and they find themselves 2-0 down, that really sends a message.
Yellow ball's nominated.
So opting for the yellow balls, which are generally pretty well positioned.
Yellow ball's in play.
25th anniversary, of course, of these great championships. It seems hard to believe that it's been going for that long, but the support over the years has been amazing from countries all around the world. Your fellow countrymen, bussers, coming over from Australia for 25 straight years. It's an incredible record.
Yeah, well, it's 21 years ago now that we won our first one in the men's.
Yeah, 1996. Ended the English domination. And Phil Harrison has played in a large number of those 25 years.
He's just played that hard enough to get it out of the way of the yellow.
The key to Harrison's success over the years has been the consistency, both within individual frames and just in his career as a whole. Never really seems to have lost the hunger. And that's often the thing that people do lose. It's not really that either of these players are anywhere near the kind of age where their physical performance should deteriorate, but it's just very hard to play as much as you did when you were younger. You have family and other commitments.
Yeah, and just the dedication and the will to keep going and keep improving. It's not easy to do.
Records here, of course, for the taking. Mick Hill, if he wins today, would be the first ever 4 times world champion. Currently holds the record jointly with Gareth Potts. They're both on 3 at the moment.
Yeah, that'll take some catching.
And Phil, a chance to enter the multiple winners club, which would certainly be very fitting for his talent. I think either of those records, nobody could argue really with the consistency Mick's shown to win 4 in a row. Oh, well, not 4 in a row, to win 4 in total. Certainly Harrison could easily have won more than the one that he has won so far.
Yeah, I think if Mick does manage to win, 4 could stand as a record for any amount of time.
Yeah, it's a difficult record. I mean, there's the likes of Tom Cousins coming up on 2, still at the top of the game. This man, of course. But then if Mick wins, he'll be 3 behind then. So another Harrison special clearance this. All looks pretty straightforward, but all borne by the high quality positional plate.
So Mick hasn't missed a ball yet, but he's tried to play a little containing shot when he got out of shape in the first frame. Never got back to the table.
Yes, he struggled even necessarily to call it a mistake from Mick, but he did slip out of position, which is why he had to play that containing shot. And since then, he's sat down for the rest of that frame and the whole of this frame. So that's how quickly it can turn. One little error of judgment and suddenly you're 2 frames down.
So he'll be pretty keen to make amends for that on this this third frame. He'll be breaking again.
Yeah, this becomes an important break. The last thing he wants is a dry break and letting Phil in for 3 in a row. Phil started off pretty well against Dave Fernandez. He looked like he could really motor ahead. Then Fernandez found a way back into that match. Phil had to slightly do it the hard way, although he was never looking in huge danger of losing. But
it's half the Aussie contingent there. All the Aussie juniors at the front, and a couple of the masters, seniors, I should say. We call it masters in Australia. Now over 50s.
Yeah, you've had a good record in that over the years, the Australians.
Yeah, absolutely. A great win from him this year. sensational team they brought over. The world champion, the seniors world champion from 2 years ago, Steve Grape. Mick Delahunty from who was in the team, as I said, 21 years ago, the first team to win for Australia in the men's.
Yeah, it's great to see Mick over here. We had the pleasure of his company for some of the commentary duties last year. Always nice to see him over here.
Yep. Good break.
Yeah, that's a really solid break, isn't it? Really good split.
So much more room on the 8-footer. There's always seems to be less clusters and there's more room to manoeuvre.
Yeah, I think in many ways this is a table designed for Mick Hill. His skill really is in the quality long potting. Obviously very good cue ball control as well, but his ability just to pot anything from anywhere means that no pot is really particularly difficult on this table, but he's just got a bit more room to work with.
And he's as good as anyone in the balls.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful touch. You certainly couldn't see where the mistake's going to come from in this frame with the positioning of the balls. It really would have to be a mistake.
Black's the toughest shot.
Yeah, it is. He's generally incredibly good along those cushions. Some people would be looking at that thinking, I don't really like the look of that black, but you see Mick knock ones in the length of the side cushion, never mind across that kind of distance. And in a sense, all the more impressive from Hill in that he hasn't been playing all the time. He hasn't been a regular fixture on the UK tour. I know he was over, in fact, in Australia recently for your Big Guns tournament.
That would probably have been the best hit out he's had on the small tables for a while. Ours aren't quite as small as the sixes. We're all 7 foot.
Yeah, slightly different tables you guys have. So
different cut.
Deceptively different.
They're a little bit harder.
Although it's always better that way around. Practice on the harder table and then come over and play the match on the easier one.
Yeah, once we get used to these, we love them.
Yeah, they're beautiful tables to play on. They're lightning fast when they've just been ironed and have got new cloths on. Basically makes any kind of shot possible.
Yeah.
The only negative to it is that if you're not playing well, you can end up looking a bit silly because you can lose control of the cue ball. But if you are playing well, they're just beautiful to play on. So we see a couple of the England team in the background there, Shane Thompson and Dave Fernandez, fresh from their World Team Championship victory this morning.
Well, the frame that Shane turned around against Dave McQuillan was a huge effort.
It was a fantastic performance there. It was almost like a sort of free roll for him. It looked like Ireland were clearing up in that frame, and then McQuillan unexpectedly slipped out of position, which forced him to miss what looked a relatively straightforward ball.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like he missed it. He just he underhit it trying to hold the white. And
yes, indeed, left it on the edge of the pocket. But then Shane really dug in. We were saying at the time, I think it was kind of made easier for him by the fact that it was a frame he thought he'd lost. So there was no real downside for him to dig in well, as we see that. Has Mick overdone this?
No, he's just okay.
God, he'll be glad that pulled up in time.
Just got into it a little bit too much.
No problem at all there, and you see the control there, able to leave himself a fairly straightforward
So it's
black.
Yeah, just a little bit of tension in his arm still. That'll relieve it a little.
Yeah, I've seen very few better players over the years of pots along cushions like that. Doesn't seem to be fazed by them at all. So, good quality stuff. First visit clearance from Phil Harrison after Mick let him in, then 2 consecutive break-in runs. First Harrison, then Hill. So Harrison's chance to do the next one.
Well, 3 frames in, no one's missed a pot yet.
No, I mean, this is exactly the kind of standard we were expecting. But it's only when you see other matches, I mean, we've seen the quality of some of the teams in the team matches, but in that one-frame format, you see a lot more misses, whereas these guys playing the best of 21 in this final, first to 11, so they know they've got plenty of time to settle down. But it doesn't really seem that anybody's needed too much time to settle down. They're straight after this.
Well, we had one massive round in the teams where we barely missed a pot for the whole round, I think. Got over the top of Malta. I think we hit 11-2 at one stage. for the win.
Yeah, it's great when you get into that groove, suddenly it all seems to come together and all seems so easy.
And it just drags every player in the team along with it. It's
Yeah.
it was amazing. Oh, this is a sort of opportunity Mick would have been hoping for.
Yeah, white
That's-
straight into the side pocket.
That's not unlucky, that's an error.
And that's the kind of error you see probably less from Phil than a lot of people, because he tends to take a bit of pace off the break and focus on controlling the white, but he definitely hasn't done that time.
Mick can get him behind these yellows here. It's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, this is an example of when ball in hand is so useful, because he's only got one visit here, going in off the break, just the single visit, but the fact you can put the cue ball anywhere just means that you can often move a difficult one early on.
I think Mick might have to put some weight back on so he wears a bigger shirt to fit more sponsors on.
Yeah, he cuts a very different figure from when he won his first world title in 2004, certainly. That's what you get, of course, for doing as much winning as he has. People want to sponsor you,
That's right.
have the logo on the waistcoat. Referee there in the background, George Bradbury, officiating his first World Singles Championship final.
Well, he's mapped him out. His shot's key. He's got to get out past that one. I don't see any dramas here either, Mark.
No, this is the kind of opportunity that he loves, and he'll just be delighted to be at the table. Dry break from your opponent when they've made a good break is just kind of gift wrapped for you.
That was Mick Delahunty in the crowd then.
Yeah, great player.
Seems to be half the crowd's Australian at the moment.
Yeah, you're taking over the place.
That's all right. You guys are spoiled. You get to see these guys all the time over here.
Yeah, very true. And it's frankly very impressive to see so many Australians in the crowd. I mean, let's not forget how many thousands of miles from home you are.
So there won't be any rest for us now. Most of us leave in the morning.
Yes, you were saying 4:45. That doesn't seem too appealing to me.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that, mate. 4:45 pickup.
So you'll be enjoying the end of tournament banquet tonight in
Yeah.
calm style, I hope.
Some people won't be sleeping.
So that was the key shot for Mick. That the only yellow that could have been difficult to get on was the one that he's now landed on. This is an example of his quality. Some people would have been concerned by leaving the shot from this kind of range, but he's so consistent with that. There was no way he was thinking about missing that ball.
No, it's not. No, missing's not wouldn't even go through his head.
No, I mean the consistency of the potting. Like some people take on shots more in hope than expectation, but Mick has 100% expectation with almost every shot.
Played that lovely as well.
Yes, I mean that one was perhaps more difficult than it looked, just to screw back just slightly for the straight black. So, what a standard of play so far. 4 first visit clearances, 2 from the break. That time from his opponent's break.
And half a mistake each.
Yeah, it's no more than that, is it? Mick played a containing safety that didn't work out, and Phil went in off the break. That's all they've done wrong so far. It's great to have this as the showpiece final at the end of the week. Guaranteed high quality pool. We like to see the tension, we like to see the misses, but we also like to see guys that just make the game look ridiculous.
Yeah, the funny thing is they're probably both disappointed at the moment.
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, those mistakes have been so minor that, but for those, either of them could have been ahead already in this match. From the crowd's point of view, of course, trading big blows like this is exactly what they want to see. They don't want one player streaking off. I think either are players that could potentially streak off, but such is the quality of their opponents, it won't be easy to do.
Break 5, Mick to break, 2 frames all. Time running.
No, you need your opponent to make errors for that to happen. Or come up dry a couple of times. Oh, that ball was going straight in.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a touch there. That white would have been in the top left-hand corner pocket as we look at it, had it not cannoned.
It had been kicked, so it would have been unlucky, but yeah, he's been saved.
Not a bad spot, not quite as straightforward a layout as the last couple have been.
Yellows nominated.
Going yellows, as you can hear.
Yeah, if you can get the middle of those three. You can get the middle and get the white out. That was the problem.
Yellows in play.
Yeah, he thought he'd be right to get out, but
Yeah, just got caught up slightly there.
once you do drop this in, then play the other one in the middle. Yep.
Yeah, it's his ability to drop those in with confidence. He was able to just play it a fraction harder than some people would have been able to, so got the cue ball out into an easier position.
Still got a couple of key shots, but he's in pretty good shape. A tiny bit of angle on this one, I think. Yeah. Phil just having a look as well.
So he didn't have the right angle into the centre pocket, so he decided to play it for the corner, able to play off that red, which made it a big pocket and has opened the pocket up now. It's not turned out quite perfect though.
And in doing so, he's tied up the yellow a little bit. That's Australian captain Paul Clark sitting behind Shane Thompson and Dave Fernandez there. Clarkie's first time over here in 7 or 8 years. I think he came about 5 in a row before that.
Well, he'll certainly be proud of what his team did.
Yeah, he was. Very much.
Just missing out, of course, narrowly in the playoffs on Monday.
Yeah, one frame, and I don't think it really hit me until I saw the teams getting introduced last night.
No, when we were commentating on that match last night, you could in theory have been out there playing in a different situation.
He's in a bit of trouble now, Mick.
Yes,
It's planted reasonably straight, but he's across almost half ball on it, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of distance between these balls. As you say, if the white was right behind the first one, it's judgeable, but pretty awkward from this angle.
Yeah, he's in all sorts if he doesn't get it too. There's not a... Doesn't seem to be any easy safety.
No, I think you can be fairly well assured that if there's no easy safety, he's going to be going for a pot.
Where he just pointed his cue there, if he could get the white in there, even over behind them, he doesn't leave a lot.
Yeah, looking at screwing off the left-hand side cushion as we look at it.
Has he got away with it?
Rebels in play.
No, he hasn't.
No, that wasn't going to be an easy one to get away with, I don't think.
They haven't landed great for him either.
So, after a run of first visit clearances, can Harrison keep that up? This will be his first visit in this frame.
Well, it takes the cut in the middle and it'll knock those two apart. No, going the other way, he's playing safe.
I think you'll see this significantly more from Phil than you will from Mick.
Well, if he's left a total here, I don't know if it's a greater shot.
Yes, I wonder if that's why he seemed to be tapping the table in slight frustration. He's obviously got a snooker. I wonder if he was trying to...
He wouldn't have wanted to leave a total snooker. No way. Because if he's done that, Mick can just play off 2 cushions or 1 or 2 cushions, sit behind the yellow.
Yeah, I think the referee confirmed it's not a total. He's just pointing at the yellow that Mick can see the thinnest of edges for. That's why Mick was tapping the table in appreciation.
So needs to hit the yellow off 1 cushion, which he's done. It's a good shot. He's not really in any sort of better position than he was.
No, I think it was going to be tricky for Phil to gain a huge advantage against a player of Mick's calibre that was pretty likely to hit the yellow out of the snooker.
Well, he's hit it and developed it too, so where it was before he moved it, it wasn't on if he's left up the table. Now if he gets it wrong, he leaves him on a pot. So all he's done is given Mick an extra chance to move his balls around, get in a better position. So he won't be too happy with himself there, Phil.
At least from his point of view, he's the man at the table though, so got the chance to play another shot. Well, this time he hasn't left a snooker.
It's a good shot. Well, he's left a pot on, but it's 6 foot away and about less than quarter ball cut. So
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd probably fancy Mick for the pot, but then what's next? The cue ball obviously zipping around the table. It's going to be a thin shot. Have to play it all the way around the table and back again. Would he rather do that, or would he rather take a safety shot on?
no, I don't think there is any safety. It's in off. No, he's all right. Well, what's he left?
Yeah, that's not a bad result. Caught that ball quite a lot too thin. I think he's playing with running side. I think he thought that the white would just move away from the pot slightly and just thin it up, but ended up catching it quite thin, quite thick, which is why the white hasn't moved that much. And actually, that's been quite a good result because the white's now at the top end of the table.
He's put another ball over where the little cluster is, which is in his favour. Phil's just trying to see if he can just stun into these, hide behind the one he hits, and that's a good shot.
Yeah, that's a really astute shot. Now, has he left any of the furthest left yellow? Can any of that be seen?
Might need an overhead for that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I reckon he's on that.
Yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate.
So great camera work from the guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. A sterling job all week from Beard Productions. Do visit their Facebook page. Like it for updates on future streaming.
Yeah, we think what we want to see and they pretty much do it. It's awesome.
It's been a long week as well for the guys. They've streamed a lot of pool this week.
That's a good shot. There's enough room to get one inside that yellow, but there's no ball to get in there.
So after 4 first visit clearances, we have not entirely unexpectedly found a tactical frame.
Yeah, well, it wasn't by choice from Mick, but Phil will be happy to be in the frame.
Yeah, very much so. And Mick, although not really a massive fan of tactical play out of choice, is very good at it, so won't be a problem.
That's a touch surprising.
Yes, I mean the old laying down the gauntlet it's a different prospect laying down the gauntlet for Mick Hill than for a lot of people.
Bit of a smile there from Phil. Not sure what Mick might have said then.
I don't think it's a bad shot. I mean, you look at the position Mick's in. Yes, he's got 2 visits, but a bit to be done.
Yeah, but if can he bounce this inside into the red and get over behind the yellow, so to play it back into the same pocket, or what he's looking at there, open it up.
Oh, I think in fact it must go to the middle then.
Well, if that goes in the middle, it's very average shot from Phil, I would think.
Well, the next question, of course, is what about the black?
Well, looks like it goes.
Yeah, the yellow goes. Well, I think it goes. It's pretty,
Well, if
pretty tight, isn't it?
The black doesn't, so you just take the other yellow first and get on.
Yeah, so he's got the wrong angle, we're saying, on the yellow to the middle at the moment, but if he wants to, he can pop the one over the corner and leave a different angle, or he can use the 2 shots to pop this one first.
So he's going to run through and try and get it. And he hasn't done that. Now for the next trick.
Yes, actually, sorry, when I say use the 2 shots, he hasn't got 2 shots, has he? Because he set the first one up.
I don't reckon he's got a shot now.
Yeah, I think I preferred your shot. Just try and leave an angle on the one into the middle to knock into the red and the black. This is more difficult now. It was very tricky the way he was playing, having to play with a lot of side, trying to force it off the cushion. It was an angle that wasn't really quite there.
Yeah, and these middle pockets do take the ball well, but if you don't hit them spot on and you're forcing them, they can pop out. What's he going to do, try and play it off the red, or... He's got an edge of it. Will it double? Double off the red.
Yeah, well, he may be forced into something like that, because, as you say, you can only really see the left-hand side of the black. It's pretty thin, I think.
I mean, he's got to try something, because if he doesn't pot it, he loses. So.
He's going to have to inject lots of pace into this.
Oh, he's gone in off. That's an error.
Yeah, that's a surprising error, because when you're trying to pot the ball like that, it's obviously key that you don't go in off. Because, I mean, now disastrous, he's giving the frame away, but he didn't want the black going in, of course. So, very presentable opportunity indeed for Harrison.
Yeah, we'll say 3-2 to Phil. Last night I wouldn't have been as sure about that with the amount of pressure there seemed to be out there between Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah, that team final was a tricky one to call, it's fair to say. And we had plenty of practice. We were here over 3 hours with that match, but this one I fancy we might not be here quite so long.
I like seeing players under pressure, and it's good to see what pressure is able to make great players do sometimes. But that wouldn't, yeah, probably wouldn't wish to call a match like that one again.
Yeah, they took it to extreme, certainly. But actually, I mean, it was an entertaining match. So a lot of people I know watched it, and understandably, there's criticism in parts of the standard of play. But I mean, firstly, try doing it yourself when you're out there, and secondly, it was actually making for good watching.
It was interesting. It's harder to pick than a broken nose.
Yes.
I think, yeah, they might have a few beers and have a laugh watching that one again. The Irish, that is.
Yeah, it's easy to see the funny side for the Irish, because they won the match.
Might be a little while before the Scotland find the amusing side of it.
This, on the other hand, a very different type of match. It's actually quite easy to predict what the players are going to do, because Phil Harrison plays the game in a sensible and straightforward manner, so you can generally judge what he has in mind.
A lot more pressure in team sport. Totally different.
Yeah, that team semis and finals. Great idea having the semi-finals streamed as well. In previous years, we used to just televise the team final, but actually those team semis are just so entertaining. So much pressure, so much enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're streamed. I would like it to be, I think they should be longer, but that's That's another story, but a race to 8 is just so cutthroat, as you know.
I don't recall as we left the commentary box at midnight last night, you saying you wished it was long?
Well,
no, I agree.
I'm not saying they have to be on one table.
No, I'm obviously joking, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's an interesting format. So the team matches played first to 11 through the week and then played first to 8 for this stage. The rationale has always been that normally they're played on multiple tables, and for the final stages they're played on one. And I think from the point of view of a spectacle, having it played on one just adds a unique dimension to it, because when there are 2 games in progress, the attention of the team is divided and people are away playing, whereas when there's one, all the eyes are on just that one person.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's on 2 tables, you don't freak out quite as much.
So Harrison ahead now by 3 frames to 2, and with the break to come, so a chance to extend his advantage. Found the left centre pocket off his last break with the cue ball. We'll be wanting to adjust that.
Interesting to see what break he does here.
Yeah, I mean, typically he's been trying to park the white a lot more. He's been trying to get really as little movement as possible on it. But sometimes when you're hitting it hard, the slightest misjudgment and you get a lot of movement. Well, although a ball's gone down, I would say that wasn't the best break, really. He didn't make a great contact with the pack.
No.
In terms of outcome, it may be okay, but that wasn't the best connection he made.
But he's in control and has first dip.
Although sometimes there isn't a direct correlation between the quality of the break and the ball going down. We saw the worst break of the tournament in the England-India semi-final yesterday, and somehow a ball went down.
I didn't see it, but I heard.
About the only ball that moved, and it somehow found a pocket.
Yeah, if someone could work out exactly what's the guarantee getting balls off the break, it would certainly change the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the debate about whether you should have physical devices that help the racking like you do in American pool, where you can get
The magic rack.
magic racks, yeah, where you can tap the table, or they have triangles that are a bit more sophisticated in their construction. The trouble is with that, it's almost demystified the break in 9-ball and perhaps takes a bit of the entertainment value out of it.
Certainly has. Once players work out how a table's breaking with a magic rack, well, then they have to start bringing in other rules like in Moscone and a few other things, either whether it's either 3 balls have to pass the head string, or combination of 3 have to go in and pass the head string, so it stops people just doing the easy cut break and getting the wing ball in the middle every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think although players always moan about not getting balls on the break here and how costly it is, that random element actually does kind of add to the game.
Yeah. But on the 6-footers, the cut break, a lot of the English and a lot of the teams been doing the cut break a lot. You won't see any of that really from the Australians.
Give it a proper man's break.
Just smash them.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. We all think about the break as like the big power shot, and the one time you really throw your arm at it.
James Delahunty's just about the best breaker in Australia, and he shot 82% in the teams here last year, so I'll say it worked well for him.
I think we can agree. 82 is a ridiculous statistic.
Whoa. That's well, we'll put that down as a mistake for Phil.
Yes, I mean, that's comfortably the loosest shot he's played in this match, although, to be fair, you can't get them all. It's turned out particularly badly because he's left Mick right behind the one he now wants to play.
It couldn't be better. How did that go in? I thought he's putting this over the hole. I was surprised he wasn't trying to pot it, but he...
Yeah, I think that was as much of a surprise to Mick as it was to us.
Yeah, good shot.
So having attempted a tactical shot and it not quite come off, suddenly looking at going for the game hit.
If he's straight enough, he can just bring the white back a bit, give himself some angle to get up to that top ball on the balk line. The other one down here that goes inside the yellows is a absolutely ideal ball to get on the black.
30 seconds.
Oh, it's just not coming out off the cushion. He's okay, he just screw across the table, but
Yeah, that was an observation that a lot of the Irish team had after their semi-final last night. They were saying that they were finding the cushions quite slow but the table quite fast, which was proving a difficult combination. I mean, arguably the two should equal themselves out, but I understand what they mean, because it does make things very difficult to judge.
a little bit straight here. Well, the way that last ball went in was almost unmissable.
Yes. He's going to have to play this a bit firmer to get the white out, but no trouble.
Straight into the heart of the pocket anyway.
So that loose safety shot from Harrison has proved costly. And Hill gets the match level again at 3 apiece.
A little bit of a strange one from Phil. He's just not put 100% effort and commitment into a shot, which is unusual.
Yeah, he's not the kind of person to play loose safety shots like that. Sometimes people are frustrated when there's no pot and don't try as hard, but he's not really that guy.
Yeah, when we were, I can't remember what frame it was last night, but yes, I do. It was Matthew O'Hara's second frame, and they were just hitting the balls around the table a bit, waiting for each other to make a mistake. And it's easy to get loose when that sort of thing's going on, because it's you really do need to make a mistake to leave them on. But
Yeah,
Phil's not the sort of guy to get into that sort of rhythm and just hit them round.
Yeah, that frame got a bit silly. It was like there wasn't really anything anybody could do, so nobody was trying that hard for a time.
Yeah, like they were taking a mental rest at the time.
Yes. I think you'd have to say on the balance of play so far, 3 apiece, probably a fair scoreline.
Yeah. He's got a red down. Yeah, so those little mistakes that can be costly.
So they're going to be playing 10 frames in the first session, then mid-session interval of 10 or 15 minutes, and then maximum 11 after that.
Is it going to be an actual 15 minutes this time, Mark? Yeah. I reckon it was about 4 minutes last night and nearly got locked out.
Yes, both you and somebody else were complaining about that. But
I didn't have a ticket to get in before. They weren't going to let me in. Good security.
Didn't give them the whole, do you know who I am?
No, I did not.
Your name's not down,
No.
you're not coming in. So, nice opportunity, but a little bit of work to be done here for Hill.
30 seconds.
Was he trying to hold there?
Yes, I think he probably was, judging by where he'd put the cue before he played the shot.
These don't look easy at all.
No, I mean, you wonder if you're Mick Hill, you look at these, think of these look easy? I mean, the way he plays, it looks like he's firmly got in mind that he's going for something here.
Yeah, he's playing a cannon into that red, I suppose, to try and get that, to open that yellow.
30 seconds.
Is that... Is that plant on
Look
across
at, look at where he's queuing on this. He's so far to the right.
Is the plant on across the table?
Yeah, well, that's what he was looking at.
Well, it's a 3-ball plant now.
Yeah, that
It doesn't look it.
Yeah, I don't think the third ball changes it dramatically. It either goes or
It just
or
looks
doesn't.
better. Just looks better.
It looks better if he gets it. So. That was a good last shot. I mean, you could see from that overhead view just how much right-hand side he was putting on that cue ball to make the cannon.
Yeah, it must be on. It looks like he's aiming about half ball on the right of the for the cannon. No plant. And he's come out for it. Look at that, for control.
Yeah, it's not just the plant, is it? The fact he's bang on the next yellow as well.
Yeah, can he get on the next one though?
Yeah, the next one, if he just was an inch or two further to the left, would be easy to hold for. He's quite got the right angle for that.
Bit of a head shake. He's coming back. Needs to get off the cush. Yep, he's all right.
Well, I think that's an okay positional shot. Can't argue with that one.
He didn't have a lot of cue to throw at it either.
No, it's very close to the object ball.
Showing off the pretty cool pair of socks there, Phil.
Yes.
Thank you.
Made the effort for the final. Nice to see.
Man after my own heart. I don't think I own a plain black pair.
Not sure you own a pair at all, do you? Judging by
mate.
your current appearance.
Yeah, unless I've been I don't think I've worn shoes all week if I haven't been playing. That's a great shot. Summer over here, mate. Wear thongs.
Thongs mean something different over here.
Flip-flops.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're safer with flip-flops.
What a great finish.
Yeah, I mean, this is a high quality. This is a kind of Mick Hill special. This is why people like him. This is why people pay to come and watch him.
And Phil will be sitting there now after the little mistake he's made in the last frame. He'll be going, I've got to pull it up and stop him right now, because this is, we know what Mick can do when he starts playing like this.
Yeah, and Phil will be expecting this kind of thing. You've kind of got your simple clearances, which they're both going to take, and then your Mick Hill ones where you're just thinking, well, this isn't going to turn into a clearance, and somehow the balls are gone.
Well, really, I mean, that was just stupid. When we had an overhead and said before he's loaded up with right-hand side to extract that ball, it didn't look like an out there.
No, and not only to get it, but to play it with the confidence you know you're going to get it when you're going to just leave your opponent bang in otherwise.
He's played two absolute gems of positional shots. Jaden D'Amica, right at the front of the screen there on the left. He's one of the juniors. He had his 18th birthday yesterday.
Celebrating the delights of Blackpool, huh?
Yeah, I'm surprised he's awake. Crunch and anything down. Oh.
Just that one roll could make so much difference. Oh, that's so annoying for Phil, isn't it?
Yeah, that's harsh. And reds don't look too bad. Yellows look a lot easier. Is this one down the bottom right?
Yeah, looking at that, you'd say no, but
You can
from
move
past experience, it may be more space than it looks.
Yeah, you can move it now if you had to. Wanted to Slightly heavier cannon than that. It's okay. Stun into the middle of the table.
So this is the first time that Mick has been ahead in this match. It was 2-0 down, got it back to 2-all. This 4-3 lead. His first step out in front. Could be quite a big moment if he can start building on this lead. 3 more frames to go before the mid-session interval.
Doesn't look like that yellow goes. And he's probably not on a lot. If he does move it, he's going to have to just catch it beautifully so he's still on it. Or it's another one of those angles where we're wrong and then he's on.
Yes, the way he's playing it suggests it must be. Well, that doesn't half make the clearance easier.
So not a problem in the world here.
So just the fact that that ball rested on the top left-hand corner pocket meant that Phil Harrison turned over the table to Mick Hill.
And could be 3 frames behind by the time he gets back to the table, depending on Mick's break.
Yeah, no, that would start to become a problem. Harrison will be looking to steady the ship before the mid-session interval. Slips behind by 2 frames for the first time.
Yeah, it's amazing how much one error can, how much damage you can do, and it's not just the 1 frame that you lose because of it. It's momentum, a confident swing, and one little error can change a match.
Yeah, and Mick's starting to look quite dangerous now. He's starting to take out those clearances that aren't quite there. That one was kind of there, but had some challenges. The previous one wasn't really there at all.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, with his potting, he, if he can just get himself in a position where he can see a ball and he can knock it in.
Yeah, he's not showing too many signs of missing so far. Got a kind of confidence around the table that stems from that fact. And I think watching him before the match, you would have to say he looked like he thought he was going to win it. I don't mean in a sort of arrogant way, but he seemed to have a kind of confidence about him. As to a point did Phil, but
Yeah,
slightly different character.
I don't think anyone's more comfortable than Mick in this situation.
Well, look at this. There's balls raiding in everywhere.
Oh, he's been a bit unlucky with that last red. Or yellow, whichever way you want to go, but
Yes.
do what you want.
So 3 reds and a yellow down. It's ironic, isn't it? All those balls have gone down and then the cluster still developed.
I saw captain of Mauritius team sitting behind him just laughing at the break, laughing about how good it was.
Yeah, even Phil's laughing at how good it was.
There he is, centre screen at the bottom. I've seen him, I spent a bit of time with him last time we were over here as well, and I've never seen him not smiling.
A very popular figure around the venue this week.
Absolutely. That's pretty good cannon there, Mark.
Yeah, just a bit. Only had to travel about 7 foot with a cue ball, hit it perfectly.
Full ball.
So just sizing up the next cannon.
Just going to dig in, screw into the cushion. It's a good shot because it leaves him options. Unless he sticks perfectly behind the red, which would be very unlucky. But yeah, I was looking at just getting on it. No, he's into it, and that's awesome.
He's got quite a touch with these cannons. He just runs into the ball and it turns out exactly where he wants it.
Just a very lucky player.
Yes, Consistently lucky over about 20 years.
It's amazing how lucky you get when you practice more than everyone else.
But it shows how much more there is to the game than just the potting, because everyone thinks of him as this machine that pots everything in sight, but it's been these touch cannons that have been so impressive in this frame.
No, as I said earlier, he's as good in the balls as anyone. Better than most, by a long way.
And suddenly a clearance, which could have been difficult, looks so straightforward.
Yeah, and as I said before, there's every chance that Phil, after making a mistake, will be 3 frames behind. Looks like it's going to be the case.
Which makes the last frame of this session a very important one. 7-3 would be a big problem.
So you make a small, well, not a small mistake, but a mistake, and then a dry break. All of a sudden, the match is slowly being taken away from you.
Yeah, but how this has turned when Phil was 2-0 up, then suddenly he's looking at 6-3 down, and an opponent in rampant form just looks like he's going to pot anything.
6 out of 7 frames against Phil Harrison's not a bad result at all.
Third clearance from the break there for Hill. A couple of other good clearances from opportunities he's been handed. The crowd enjoying the spectacle that Mick's putting on. And this is exactly why so many people had him as the fairly overwhelming favourite before this match, despite the quality of his opponent.
Well, huge moment for Phil. 2 of the Aussie boys, Daniel Thorpe, Jack Phillips. Ian Will, aka Mongrel. He's dry again.
Oh, this is starting to become a real problem now. And a frustrating one. It's now gone from the stage of this being an evenly poised match to one where Phil's just sitting here watching his opponent pot balls.
So, guessing you want yellows unless that plant's on inside the black. Yellows it is.
30 seconds.
Oh, a mistake.
Yeah, it's a rare mistake. Normally he plays a shot like that, you expect the cue ball to zip through the gap and be perfect.
That's tricky too.
It's been a very quick match so far, barely an hour into it. 9 frames of pool played already.
30 seconds.
A few tactical moments, but otherwise,
Double this yellow up inside the black, or is he just cutting this in front? Oh, that's... He had more room than we realised. That's... Is he still on? Can we have an overhead, please? Thank you.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think Mick was just trying to play a cannon off the 2 balls in the middle of the table, but just slips past them.
He might be on it. He's going around.
Well, got into that too much. Treating the crowd to an exhibition shot there, trying to swerve around the black.
So Phil at the table for the first time in a few frames.
Well, I think this could be a very important frame. If he can get in for the mid-session interval no worse than 6-4, given how well Mick's played so far, that's not too bad a result. Then he's within touching distance still.
30 seconds.
Would have been nice to get an opportunity off Mick's break, but this is off his own dry breaks.
Now, has the fact that he's been sitting in his chair for a long time changed his mindset? You wouldn't expect it to, but still tough to see your lead evaporate and then see your opponent move 3 frames ahead.
Strange that he's checking out the plant now.
So finishing his work at the top of the table, and then the 4 sitting there waiting at the bottom. All of which are quite nice, but he's just got to get in good position.
Yeah, the plant down in the left-hand pocket's a little bit tricky. You want to be on the right angle.
Yeah, if you're right behind it, it's okay, but if you're playing it from distance, very missable indeed.
30 seconds.
Time out for a rest.
So it's the second time we've seen Phil call for the rest so far in this match.
He didn't try and reach this time though.
No. I mean, you look at it, it doesn't actually look that bad a position, but example of how big the table can be.
Well, he's not 6'4".
So, he needs to try and get a bit of movement on the cue ball here. Also now, time is racking up a bit.
Well, they did give him time out for the rest there. I didn't realise that was...
Yeah, they give a time out to go and fetch the rest. You know, the player's supposed to step away from the table and not be thinking about their shot while the equipment's being reached.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a time out for a rest if it was at the table.
No, I think just because of this arena, it's slightly behind the table.
Okay.
So, decided not to try to do anything clever with the white ball, which leaves this shot significantly more difficult. Played it well, though.
Yep. And get rid of the one on the other cushion.
Now, that was really the key shot. We were saying that plant wasn't dead set. Now that's gone in.
Get the rest out again, Phil.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 with it so far.
No, he's all right.
Actually, this time he's got to be careful because
No, he's cute.
the black's in the way.
I might have called it. He's going to go the other way.
Yeah, I don't know that you want to change your choice of shot just because of this.
That's not a good idea.
Oh, I think he's going to have to call for the rest again.
30 seconds.
I mean, it's not too difficult this way around, but I think it's better the first way he was going.
Well, the first way you're going is the right way.
He's going to need the rest anyway. Although this
No, he's not leaning
is
over
a
the black
slightly
now.
simpler shot at least, where just got to drop it in. Well, this has been good stuff. This was a very important frame. 7-3 behind, and you could see this match running away from him. Drawing it back to 6-4. Everything to play for in the last session. Potentially 11 frames to come still after the break. Hill, of course, will be the happier player coming in for the mid-session interval, but actually, the way things have gone, I think Harrison won't mind too much. The fact he's won this last frame will give him some confidence.
Yeah, could easily have been 4 down.
Black down. He's only 2 behind now. Hill leads Harrison by 6 frames to 4. So we'll have an interval of 10 or 15 minutes. We'll be back with further coverage when the players return. Welcome back to Blackpool. Players now back in the arena. So after all the pool we've seen played this week, this is the final session. The men's singles World Championship final. Mick Hill leading Phil Harrison by 6 frames to 4 at the moment. First man to 11 lifts the title, so potentially 11 frames still to play. But you'd have to say, on the basis of the play so far, it's not going to take long.
No, not at all. Both, especially Mick, starting to warm up in that session, towards the end of that session. Oh, he's lost a little bit of control of the white there. It should have a good starter. So Mick looking to go 3 frames ahead here, and Phil Harrison looking to pull it back to a 1 frame deficit.
Yeah, it was nice from a neutral point of view to see Phil win that last frame before the mid-session interval. Whoever you want to win this, at least that's made a decent match of it. Wow.
It's a very tough opener.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't by any means an easy shot, but Mick's been so relentless, you just don't expect it.
And that's open table.
Yeah, so Phil can still choose his colour.
Yeah, I think he'd be choosing reds.
Yeah, this would be a good frame to win if you can pull this one back. Suddenly only 1 frame behind, and we're right back in a game.
And he'd be breaking.
You have to say, so far we haven't really witnessed anybody put enough pressure on Mick Hill. We just don't really know how he's going to react. I mean, you assume it's not going to make a huge amount of difference, but however good you are, you can get your opponent under some pressure. They can make mistakes, so Phil needs to hold himself together and take these out.
It's gone right into the edge of the hole there.
Yeah, I'd be relieved to see that drop. Caught it a bit full.
Mm. So this is the opportunity would have been hoping for during the interval.
Yeah, you can't ask for more than this. You've been hoping that Mick might have had a dry break with this kind of second prize. Did pot a ball, but then missed the next one and left an open table in the process.
Yeah, in Mick's defence, he was a bit unlucky to be that awkward on his first shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not really something you can blame him for, but he'd been so relentless up until then. So this is the kind of clearance that ordinarily you'd fancy him to get. A couple of shots are going to be a little bit awkward, but basically everything's out in the open.
Yeah, well, he needs to get it. You can't let Mick back in.
Yeah, there's no version of missing it in this clearance that's going to serve him well at all.
I thought he might run through. He might not have the right angle for it.
Yeah, I think he would have run through if it was dead straight.
He's just out. He's okay.
So this was the Hill break, of course. If Phil can get this, he'll be breaking the next frame, so his destiny will be in his own hands for the first time in a while.
Got to be a little bit careful here. He might just be dropping this in. He hasn't got a huge area to land, but he needs to get past the line of the pot. He's underhit that by a lot. That's what I was saying. It was easy to lose the white there, so he's just underdone it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he underdid it by as much as that. That seems a strange shot.
He might have to screw off this and possibly even take this red next. One closest to us.
Yeah, this is turning what could have been a fairly simple finish into one that's going to involve the cue ball moving around a bit more, which is not what he normally does.
Well, he's still okay. He just needs to make a good recovery shot right now.
30 seconds.
Not leave yourself 2 or 3 tricky ones in a row.
Now he's got the choice of 2 reds going downstairs first.
Dug into that, kept the white as high as he could.
Yeah, it's just come a little bit awkward again.
Yeah, once again, he's okay. Just needs to make a good shot.
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky under pressure. having to make too many shots. If he was just a little bit closer and a little bit straighter, this would be unmissable, but it's not from this angle.
He's missed that, and he's left room. So I thought he might have taken the other ball, to be honest, but
Yeah, I think he'd played for that one and just slightly overhit it, so still had in mind that was the way to go.
you look at where he's left. It wasn't an ideal shot he had on the red.
No, well, that's a reflection of he caught it too thin, didn't he? If he'd have potted it in the middle of the pocket, he'd have been straighter on the remaining red.
Yeah, I just thought if he took the other one, screwed across the table, it's he could have dropped it in. He's got position. It doesn't matter where he lands. He's on the black.
Yeah, I think it was the shot. Yeah, I agree. I think it was the shot before that was slightly overdone. So we haven't seen too much of this. It's kind of missed when you're in. Nobody's really been doing that, but now.
That's a clever shot from Mick. He's left himself a plant, but he won't take that near.
No, I don't think. I think you might leave that one. Spectacular as it would be.
Well, he's a bit unfortunate because he want to be playing this off the red
Yeah,
to clear it for the yellow on the rail, but it's a bit awkward. It's not easy to get on and get right behind it now.
So looking at how he might get on the top ball and not have to play it as a plant.
Well, he might have to take the plant and then play the second one off the red. Oh, that's a very good shot.
That's exactly where he pointed.
Yeah, that's almost annoying that he can land
Yeah.
that good.
Some of the positional play has been extraordinary in this match already.
Yeah. So the money shot coming up.
Well, the first bad shot, really.
It's gone in the heart of the pocket.
You wouldn't think, if you just watched that, you'd think, well, what's wrong? He's just potted it, but he was trying to come off the red to open the pocket up. Yeah, now this is a bit more difficult now.
Certainly is. He can still get on it. If he takes this in the middle, he can play the other one and get on that yellow across the table, which he's going to have to do.
Yeah, he's just going to have to forget that it could have been easier and just accept that it is what it is. So he's left a bit of angle. He's going to have to play this with a fair bit of right-hand side to get over that side.
And speed's the biggest part of the shot to get right.
It's easy to miss these thin as well when you're trying to get a lot of side on. Not McHill though, heart of the pocket.
And the speed's perfect.
So one more good shot. You see with the speed, some people would be looking at that thinking, God, this is a bit tricky, but he's straight down and playing it.
Well, there's nothing to think about. Oh wow, that's a great shot. It needs to bounce, and they haven't been. Very surprised at how unresponsive these cushions are.
Yeah, the table itself's been fast, but the cushion's quite slow. Well, he's kind of seeing the funny side of it, but I think inside not really seeing the funny side of it. I mean,
Yeah, I think what he's saying to himself in his head's not reflected.
no, I don't think we really want him saying out loud what he's saying.
No.
That's so annoying, isn't it?
Could be kids watching.
Yes, the ball rolled on a few more inches, sat down in his chair already. Instead of that, he's got this awkward position. I mean,
He can leave it pretty awkward if he misses.
I still fancy him to get this double. He's pretty
So
steady
do
with
I.
these.
That's gone wide. And look at the leave.
So well thought through. He looked at where he's going to leave the cue ball. Big moment this from Phil Harrison. He's let his opponent in when he shouldn't have done. This is his chance to make amends, but
Phil can leave a similar shot for Mick.
yeah, I think that's what he's going to be thinking about.
Oh, it's got to be pretty close to getting towards in off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that red isn't going to stop this.
How's this for a shot?
God, if he's on this red, that is a fantastic shot. World-class shot from Phil Harrison.
Super shot. have been smiling, but he'd be very annoyed.
Yeah, another big frame. As we say, Phil had led him off once, but not the second time. So, having been a few frames behind, now suddenly he's got it back to just one.
Oh, that's a shot of the match so far.
Yeah, we don't often see, because his positional play is so good, those kind of one-off single ball pots, but that was absolutely first class. And as you say, it was coming very close to the in-off, had to find the side cushion, get over for the other red. Just judged every aspect of the shot perfectly.
Yeah, it's all right. It's close to in-off, so you just pinch a little bit of pocket on a shot like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
got plenty to work with.
Dave Fernandez just come back in to have a watch. Pretty reasonable week he's had too.
Yeah, just a bit. World champion with England, world semi-finals, great run in the Masters.
Mm.
So Phil just taking a look at the rack that the referee George Bradbury has put together.
Yeah, well, he's had a few dry ones which have cost him, but he's right back into it now. That red was going straight in the middle too. Tell you what, if he doesn't get one here, he's been very unlucky.
Yeah, and this has been the tale of the last few frames, hasn't it?
But they were going straight in the middle pocket and they blocked each other, so... Well, that's part of the game, unfortunately, for Phil at the moment.
Yeah, well, given how little luck he's had off the break, to be only 6-5 behind, he'll, in a sense, be quite happy with. But the problem is he's just got to keep Mick away from the table.
Yeah, Mick will get these. He will be so pumped to get these and get an opportunity straight away after making a couple of mistakes in the last couple of frames. So he'll feel that he should be a few ahead at the moment.
Yes, I think he'll think that given how he's played, and he's played the more eye-catching, spectacular stuff, certainly could easily be more than the one frame ahead.
Yeah, there's a couple of frames ago he would have already taken these.
Yeah, doesn't want to take any liberties here.
This is the money shot right now, I'd say. After this, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, just one Mick Hill special on this one.
Just a tiny little bit of a shake in the hand there.
Well, probably not immune to nerves any more than anybody else is, but it's how he controls them that's so impressive.
Yep. He's got, he's in good shape. He's got great, nice big areas to land in. You'd like to be sort of half ball on that last yellow, the top right, top left.
Yeah, it just makes it easier to come down the table for the last one.
Yeah, otherwise you're screwing straight back towards danger, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
So just the one positional shot to navigate.
Looks like he can screw straight into that gap up the centre of the table.
Yeah, there's a fairly big gap down the middle of the table.
You can't really overhit it, so yeah, it's a bit tighter than he would have liked, but well, now that I've said he can't really overhit it, he's overhit it. Cannon on the red.
Straight down to play it though. Yeah, that red was nicely placed. Just take all the pace out of the white. So he's seen the 3-frame lead evaporate once, but got back to a 2-frame lead again. Mick now leads Phil Harrison by 7 frames to 5.
Yeah, been a bit rough. If Phil needs to work the break out.
Yeah, he's historically been quite steady with this. He doesn't have the same power break that Mick and some of the other top players have, but he's normally been pretty consistent with the break that he does utilise, and he's also normally kept good control of the white, but that was costing at least 1 frame.
That's is that 4 break and clears from Mick? Oh, that wasn't a break and clear. It was off Phil's. It was off Phil's, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's had 3 off his own break and 2 off Phil's break.
Yeah, Phil needs to work the break out, or he's gonna break himself out of this match.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? He's had 5 first visit clearances already, Mick.
Yeah, and if he can get him off this break now, it's getting into dangerous territory for Phil as well. 3 frame gap with 3 to go. Yeah, he's certainly got the break worked out, and another great look at him. That yellow goes underneath that red.
Yeah, it's really been the break that's been the difference so far. That and a couple of fairly outrageous clearances from Hill.
Yeah, your confidence is going to be better when you're getting balls off the break as well. And Phil will be feeling a lot more pressure when he does get to the table because he's getting less opportunities.
Yes, and we've seen that.
He's taking the reds, is he? No, that yellow did pass. So other than the black, the rest of them should be no problem at all.
Yeah, so having a look at the black already.
Yeah, black's on now.
Another lovely little touch cannon.
Can you just cut that in the middle now? One hanging over. It's a bit of an awkward shot otherwise.
Yeah, it's a bit past the middle pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he was hoping to be on the one across the table, which he may still be on. Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's important. It would have been a more awkward shot otherwise, but this is ideal position. So all starting to look quite open again. Could be the chance he's looking for to re-establish the 3-frame lead.
So he's got to take the one up the top right, then the left, and then probably back down for this one. Second last, wouldn't you think, Mark?
Yes, you would think so. I mean, these do join up pretty well where they are now, don't they?
Yeah, well, the ball over the middle's obviously the ideal ball to get on the black with. So.
Yeah, I think you'd rather leave that there, because if you had to play the one at the bottom last, it would be much harder to get on the black.
Yeah. So one good shot here.
Just wants a bit of angle here.
Needs to go. He won't be wrapped with that, but it'll do.
No, I mean, he didn't want to be completely straight, but he didn't want as much angle as this.
It's lucky he doesn't have any positional problems at all with the one over the middle, so it's almost anywhere on the table.
It's been very good indeed at these shots along cushion so far.
And that's no exception.
Yeah, and he just drops it in like it's over the pocket, doesn't
Yeah. Yes, once again, that's annoying.
it? Yes. Well, certainly annoying for Phil watching this.
Yeah. So there's a couple of little mistakes from Mick to let Phil back into it. And he's regrouped well and had a couple of great frames there.
So 4th clearance from the break and 6th first visit clearance out of the 8 frames that he's won. Not a bad standard. I think this is living up so far to the billing.
So this is a huge moment for the huge break for Phil.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got to get back into this match now. He's hung on well, closed the last 3-frame gap down to 1 again.
There's the great man, Mick Delahunty. England's, well, he's a bit of both countries now, Australian and English, Stacey Vine. Spends time in both.
Referee just making absolutely sure the balls are touching.
Yeah, he's going to start feeling guilty if Phil can't get a ball.
Yeah, and Phil really, really needs a ball here. The danger sometimes is you start chasing it and you start hitting it harder because you're so desperate to get one, and then
Start losing the white.
yeah.
And that's
Yes,
what happened.
pretty much exactly what happened.
And he's got one.
So for the first time in a few breaks, Phil Harrison's not only potted a ball, but he's left himself a decent opportunity.
There's a bit of a smile from him.
Yellow balls in play.
50 seconds.
So yellow balls selected.
Well, that's horrible for Phil. He's had to play a safety.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You wait all that time for the opportunity and then it looks promising,
Yeah.
but the cue ball just wasn't in the right spot.
First time he's got one off the break since Nam, and he's got to do that.
Yeah. But at least he's got some kind of control of this frame. He doesn't mind how he wins them. If he has to do it this way, so be it. I think he's the less concerned of the two about the manner of victory. Mick has a kind of reputation to keep up with these flamboyant clearances. Phil's just happy to win the frames.
Yep. Well, Mick knows Phil's under it. He's just going to make him work hard for him. That yellow should come back down in this pocket.
Yeah, and work hard. He's certainly going to have to. Got to grind his way back into this frame. Still 6 away from victory, whereas the opponent only needs 3, so he'd have to win the match 6-2 if he's going to lift the title.
Oh, and as it is, Mick has to allow him to do that.
30 seconds.
Yeah, at the moment, there just aren't going to be enough opportunities. Mick's not breaking dry often enough. Mick's certainly not missing often enough. And Phil's somewhat struggling with the break. Still, got an opportunity.
Oh,
Well, that's not what he's looking for, is it?
He's in real trouble in this frame now.
Yeah, he's really annoyed with that. He just wanted to cover that pocket, get himself nicely into a tactical frame. And instead of that, he's...
In his
But-
in his defence, it didn't look like it slowed down at all. He barely hit it. Just sucked in there.
Well, in his defence, that pocket has been extraordinarily generous with a few shots we've seen the last couple of days. Oh, it's just so frustrating. He's played the white tight to the cushion, and he's the one that's now got to play the shot.
No one to blame but himself, unfortunately.
No, and no point getting upset about it. He is where he is. He's got to just play from here.
Lovely pot.
Still showing plenty of composure out there.
Still got to play some great shots here.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with this frame now.
He's got a plant in the middle. 3 balls.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's not too bad.
no, I don't think it's too bad at all because the red and the yellow are quite close together, so not too much to judge.
And the ball you're playing it with is naturally going to go up towards that corner pocket. So. And you can leave yourself on this yellow, the bottom one.
Oh, he's played that well. Played that really well.
Okay. Well, he's not obviously known to be the same sort of shot maker as Mick, but he's produced a couple of gems.
Yeah, actually, annoyingly for him, it's the ball that's nearest the pocket that's the most difficult one now.
Mm.
The one
Yeah.
top right. If that had happened to just fall in, this would have been a whole lot easier.
30 seconds.
It's to stop, and it has.
Yeah, the last thing he wanted to be was Chinese snookered behind that red. He's got a clear shot at the cue ball now, but got to mind what he's doing.
Worst case scenario, he pots that top ball and he can leave the white in that area and he's on the black.
Yeah, he doesn't want to over-elaborate this, and I don't think he will. He's not somebody to play a needlessly complicated shot.
You don't want to be too straight on it either, so
Just make sure you leave a shot at this yellow.
make sure you get it in, yeah.
Well, yes. Definitely make sure you get it in.
And he didn't.
Yeah, it's all about the position, isn't it? He's got the position right, but...
Yeah, it's nothing's easy for Phil at the moment.
It felt like he'd slipped out of position and then he'd worked himself back in. It was slightly surprising that within 2 shots he was back to that position
Yeah.
again.
Mick, can he get under and get on this other red here? Oh,
Well, I mean, again, not the most straightforward shot given how he was trying to hold position, but that's probably the easiest ball he's missed so far.
still very unexpected.
So, a real let-off for Harrison.
Well, it is, but he's not. How easy is it going to be to get a good angle on this last yellow?
Yeah, it's a curiously difficult position given that ostensibly he's got 2 balls over 2 pockets. But
and the black on the spot.
and the
with
black on the
nothing
spot,
around it.
yeah. I mean, it's a strangely difficult position.
Yeah, just the reds are all spread out nicely.
Yeah, and actually the yellow top right isn't right over the pocket either.
Well, if he's trying to do anything with the white here, it almost makes this a missable shot.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a missable shot. I mean, you can actually
Oh,
play
yeah, it is.
Yeah, you can play it either way around, really. I mean, he could play it with the left-hand side, bring in the baulk cushion. I think that may be what he's thinking.
It looks like he's running it. He's playing running side.
Yeah. Side cushion, baulk cushion.
That's as good as he was going to get.
So, how do you like this one to pull a frame back in the World Championship final?
Well, other than just being happy with the fact that I'll be playing in a World Championship final, it's a tricky shot, and he's moved a lot.
You see that so rarely from Phil Harrison. That's a very, very uncharacteristic. That was a really tricky shot, though. Just couldn't get any closer. That was as good as he could do positionally. And that's the pressure, isn't it? If he was playing a lower ranked player in one of the earlier rounds of this tournament, that black was in the back of the pocket.
Exactly. But you're in danger of going 9-5 down against Mick Hill in the final of the Worlds.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like it could run away from Phil a bit.
Well, it could be 10-5 down when he gets another shot. He will be at least 9-5 down when he gets back to the table, that's for sure.
Yes, this is the ultimate practice position for Mick.
Mm.
No way on earth he can miss any of these. It's just giving Phil a moment to think about what he's done as well as he watches his opponent clear up these balls.
Which will not be enjoyable.
No, and for all the mental fortitude Phil Harrison showed over the years, he's going to need all of it and some more to dig this one out. He's playing an opponent in sublime form.
Who just always seems at home on this 8-foot table.
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the match, I think if this had been on a 7-foot table, it would have been a much closer contest. I think on an 8-foot table, it's very hard to bet against Mick Hill.
Now he's layering up.
Yes. Yes, didn't really need to play quite like that, but no problem.
3 cushions. 3 cushions and fat.
Well, he seems to have judged these cushions. Other people have been having trouble with them, but he's not. So an important frame there. Phil Harrison in, had the chance, made some difficult shots, but ultimately missed a tricky black. And sensibly going out of the arena for a moment to steady himself. We'll be back with commentary when he returns.
Frame 15, McGill to break, leading 9 frames to
He's
5.
staged some great comebacks over the years, but if he's going to win this match, Phil Harrison is going to have to stage one of the biggest comebacks of his career. 9-5 down against the form player who's just giving him no chances at the moment.
And Mick's just looking more and more comfortable out there. And when you break him like that and playing like he is, it's understandable. He's, unfortunately for Phil, his breaks haven't been successful enough to capitalise on any of the few mistakes that Mick has made. So. And it feels like every time Phil makes an error, he doesn't get a shot for 2 frames.
No, and these breaks from Mick are just getting bigger and bigger. Ball's just raining into the pocket.
Yellow ball's nominated.
2 reds this time down. Yellow's nominated.
Yellow's nominated. How's this for a shot?
Yes. As I was saying that, I was thinking, what's he actually going for?
That's not the smallest opener you'll ever see.
No, and that shows the confidence of the man, doesn't it?
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Tell you what, his next shot's going to have to be pretty special too.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he's taking out some silly clearances, but this one's going to take some work.
He just can't do anything with a white for his next shot. He might even have to take on the double.
If he could just get in good position somewhere in the middle of the table, that he'd be all right, but he's a shot or 2 away from that at the moment.
32nd.
Taking the plant down. No, just playing safety. And he's played that really well.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. It's been all about the clearances so far, but even he doesn't want to go for something that really isn't that.
What's Phil got here? Enough room to get that red under the yellow up the top right, but horrible shot to have to take. He's got a cannon that's even harder in the middle.
Yeah, this isn't a nice position he's in. It's a worse position for the fact he's forward behind.
Look at this shot.
Well, the shot making in this frame,
Unbelievable.
coming under the utmost of pressure there.
He's been a bit stiff. He's knocked the yellow in front of the red as well. But that's okay. These are actually on now.
Well, I think Mick thought he played a containing safety, but he's just watched his opponent
I reckon he
pull a
played
blinding pot out.
Yeah, I thought he played a pretty good shot myself. As it is, just roll this one in and they're all there.
So looking better now. Left a ball short earlier, but got the pace of the table.
Well, back against the wall, Phil. He's producing some pretty good pulls so far this frame.
Yeah, and if the last frame was a must-win frame, this is a must-win frame, and then some.
Yeah.
His opponent being 1 from victory is going to become a very significant problem. If he can keep him 2 away from the winning line for a little bit longer, there's a glimmer still.
Just got to negotiate the black. It's a little bit tricky, very close to that yellow. Not a lot of room to land on a potting line. That needs to get up. Well, he's going to be cutting it down the rail, or he could roll it in and double the black, which he's just looked at.
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer the double. It's still not ideal. Still, he's done well to get to this point of the clearance from the position he was in a few shots ago.
Just his opening shot.
Yeah, well, they've both played ridiculous opening shots in this frame. Mick's while it was still an open table, was a pretty big shot. Oh,
He's okay.
that's just okay. I think he was just running a little bit too far for the double, but he's got room.
So if he misses this, he could be 10-5 down. But he shouldn't. That's a great clearance.
Great clearance, great determination, great composure from Phil Harrison. Pulls one back under the most utmost of pressure. He wipes his hands, and well may he.
Great starter and a great finisher in that frame.
Taking the congratulations from his good friend Rich Wharton on the right. Very hard for the family to watch. Phil's here with his wife and children. I think his son may be in the audience. I think his wife and their younger child perhaps not, but you can be absolutely sure they'll be following this.
So 6-9, that'll be field to break.
So the last break, he did pot a ball, but the position wasn't great. Can he go one better than that? Been a long week for the officials as well. George Bradbury's put in a sterling turn for the last few days.
16.
The last match of this year's tournament.
Trailing 9 frames to 6. Time running.
All right, there'll be a few more big moments in this match, but this is a big one. He's controlled the white well, but just not getting the movement.
No, you could hear it. There's a more sort of dead sound than when Mick breaks. You hear balls raining around, but you can just tell the second he hit that, not that much was moving. And this is a break that was going well yesterday, and I think that's the annoyance, because you're left with this difficult situation. Do you completely change it, or do you stick with what you think is working and just hope it comes back to you?
I can answer that for him and say he probably should have changed something, because he could very well have played his last shot.
Yes, potentially he could. If Mick clears up here and then clears up in the next frame off his own break, that's amazing, isn't it? You think about it like that, he's only 9-6 down at the moment. We're talking about he could have played his last shot.
Yeah.
Although, fair to observe that there is a bit of work to be done for Hill.
Yeah, there's plenty of work to do, but you wouldn't put anything past him.
I'm sure.
Doesn't have a lot of angle here.
30 seconds.
No, he doesn't have a lot of angle, and it's not that easy. He can reach it, but not the most comfortable of shots.
He's just forced it. As he stopped in time.
Well, throughout this match, he's made a number of angles that weren't really quite there. Just got such good control. It's not a case of just potting it. It's he's picking exactly what part of the pocket to pot it into.
He looks pretty good from there. He seems to be on.
30 seconds.
How he plays this all. No, he mustn't be on. Oh,
Well, look at that.
please, Mark.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Doesn't matter if the shot's on, he'll just manufacture a different one. I mean, this is great to watch. We've said a number of times in this match, this is why
What's he going to do?
everyone's
Just
come to watch him.
play the cannon here because he can? That was a ridiculous shot. It's not like it was hanging over the hole.
Certainly wasn't.
Stopped in, yeah. Perfect.
Yes, I mean, really, the cue ball control has been exemplary so far.
I'm still trying to get my head around the cannon he played 2 shots ago. It's ridiculous.
A shot worthy of winning a world title. It's not actually going to win the world title, but it's potentially going to put him 1 frame away from doing that.
This one's a tiny bit tricky. He was going to take I think he was going to take the other ball first, but playing it with check side while you're queuing over the ball made it a little bit awkward. His white's got to be pretty good here too. It's not bad.
See, if you're other people, you brush that black and end up behind it. If you're Mick Hill, the judgment's so good, you end up absolutely perfect on it. And you have to say, a slight look of resignation in Phil Harrison's face at the moment. It's all one-way traffic at the moment.
That's a pretty amazing clearance.
I mean, you'd have to say, actually, given how well Mick Hill has played, the scoreline is a credit to the battling qualities of Phil Harrison. He's still not that far behind, and we've seen some truly ridiculous clearances in this final.
Yeah, well, not only that, he hasn't cleared one off his own break. I don't think so. Yeah, all things considered, he's doing well to be that close.
Certainly is. He's had 1 clearance off the break, the 2nd frame, but since then the break has not been kind to him at all.
Is that the 3rd clearance off Phil's break?
It is. It absolutely is.
So that's 7, is it? 4
Yes,
off his own and 3 off Phil's.
Absolutely.
Right.
And even the other 3 frames that he's won were quite good clearances, even if something had been played before then.
Frame 70, Mick Hill to break, waiting 10 frames to 6. Time running.
So, be trying to control the adrenaline at the moment and not overhit this. He's crunched him again. Wow, he's dry.
Out the table.
Wow. Miracles will never cease.
Phil will be going, yeah, so he waited till 10-6 in front to give me a dry break, mate.
So, how's Phil's state of mind here? Is he able to get the job done?
Well, anything is possible. So he won't have thrown in the towel, that's for sure.
It's a pretty simple equation facing him as well. He's got to win all 5 of the remaining frames if he wants to lift his 2nd world title. Otherwise his opponent will be lifting his 4th.
And all he's got to focus on is 1 at a time.
The yellows aren't sitting bad. If it wasn't for the pressure he was under, I think you'd be pretty confident of him taking these out. These are hardly normal circumstances.
Yeah, top one's a little bit awkward. He can get on it now. There's two different ways he can get on it right now.
Those who've been enjoying this match will no doubt want to see more of it. Mick Hill supporters, of course, hoping we don't see too much more of it. Been a great final, though. I mean, 7 first visit clearances from Mick Hill.
Yeah, it's
Ridiculous
been,
standard.
Some amazing potting under pressure as well. A couple of shots that Phil's knocked in when his back's against the wall have been awesome. That's a great shot. A lot of pressure knowing every single shot you play could be your last. Got enough angle to get out.
Yeah, it's all about the position of this one. It's not got a lot of angle, but
And queuing over a ball, which makes it harder to punch it.
Getting quite close to the ball. A number of complicating factors to this shot.
So not ideal.
Never been somebody to give up, and he's not giving up now. It's been a great run to this final, and it's been a very spirited attempt at the title.
This is really tricky too. Be easy to jump the wide off here too. Just got a little bobble on it. Has he got around? I don't think so.
I don't think he's got enough side on the cue ball. I think he's just got too much top spin and it's pulled too far across the table.
No, he's in trouble. That was a really awkward shot.
Yeah, he's in big trouble. Look at where the reds are.
There's one on a rail, but I don't think Mick's missed one on a rail yet.
No, I don't think Mick really regards that as the same problem that the rest of us do.
Go across, if they go. Oh, up and down might be the way. There we go. Pretty much needs to get one in.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not far away.
Great attempt. So the rail ball could be the last one he plays. Mick could be on his final visit to his 4th world title. Bit of insurance. Just not get ahead of himself. Think nice and slowly. Phil will believe that he's played his last shot in this final.
30 seconds.
Just making 100% sure of everything he's choosing to do. Oh, they've gone straight in and out. Can't believe that just happened. Well, it's unlucky and justice at the exact same time. He didn't seem to overhit that either, so anyone just knows what just happened.
30 seconds.
Doesn't like he's just a little bit too much angle. 30's being called, so he needs to not rush, but he needs to get a move on. He'll be a little bit annoyed at himself. I think that could have rattled him a little bit, that ball jumping out too. So another opportunity for Phil. So yellow's not the issue. Black's the problem. Drop right in behind it now. Can he keep it alive for another frame? Got the pot. And he's underhit it. Bit disappointing, never really gave it a chance to get under there. Now, in all sorts. bubble it up and down the table. That's all he has.
30 seconds.
So, oh wow. What a fantastic effort from Phil. His heart would have been in his mouth for a second there. Looked pretty good. Wants a little bit of angle. Have an overhead shot if we could. Yeah, he doesn't have a great deal. Oh, that is an impeccable positional shot. And that will be the ball game. So Mick Hill, 1 red to go, black sitting over the hole, world title number 4, a record that could stand for a long time. And that's it. What a match. Great effort from Phil. Mick Hill, world champion for the 4th time.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great final. It wasn't to be today, but an incredible performance to get to this point. A popular finalist and a man who's worked so hard to achieve all he has in the game. Let's hear it for the runner-up, Phil Harrison. Phil, there's not much I can say beyond how well you've played and how entertained we've all been all week, but what can you do with this man?
Not a lot, really. No, he played well. I made too many mistakes. I didn't break well enough, and Mick broke well. He finished well, but I missed a couple of, the big moments I wasn't good enough on, and that's simple as that, really.
Well, you played an important part in this tournament, an important part in this final. Phil Harrison. Mick Hill, 4 world titles, the only man to achieve that. How does that feel?
Pretty weird considering I weren't going to play. No, I got a phone call. George rang me a few weeks ago. He said, you're a seeded player. Where do you stand with 8-ball? You've been in China, etc. And if I'm being brutally honest, I feel like the game's been really good to me, and it's got me where I've got. And things have come off the back of this game, and I just felt like I spoke to George about it, and I felt like it was the right thing to do, to play. I think some players like me to be in it, some don't, but I just felt like, yeah, I'm going to play. I've always kind of played, and I'm going to play this time. And I just feel like I'm playing with no pressure. It's totally different to when I was playing, as a youngster. And, it was great playing Tom yesterday because he's kind of the new kid on the block, if you like, and he's been winning the tours. And that's sort of what you want to play for, And no disrespect to any of the players that Tom played, I felt like if I got to the semis, I wanted Tom to get to the semis because he's the player that's mopping everybody up, So that was good. And then today was completely different again because me and Phil have been friends for got to be 20 years. We've been staying in a twin room in the hotel for the last week until his family had come up. And, with the late night chats like we used to have when we were like, pillow talk when we were kids, if you know what I mean. And it was great, and I really enjoyed it. And in truth, if I'd have lost to Phil today, I'd have just shook the bloke's hand and said, well done, mate, great, because he's a great bloke, you know what I mean?
You can't argue with that, and you can't argue with the entertainment you've provided all week. Without further ado, let's welcome the presentation party, Mr. Joe Fanto, the President of the World 8-Ball Pool Federation.
One more time, let's hear it for the 2017 World Champion, Mick Hill.